Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to Sidewalk Slam. Yes.
Yes. Finally. Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. We're only just about to have Battleground.
Punctuality!
Punctuality is the name of the game here. But yes, it's the Money in the Bank pay-per-view episode. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank and the Raw immediately following Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
And, because you asked so very nicely and incessantly, we're going to talk a little bit about the draft, which is sort of jumping ahead in time, but is relevant for...
And there aren't really any spoilers. Well, we
Not
can
really.
Yeah.
There's not really any spoilers. So
Well, there could be.
I guess. Anyway, the point is the draft happened at time of recording. We're recording this on Wednesday, July 20th. So the draft happened last night. And so we have some fresh thoughts, some hot takes, if you will.
That's how you get all the views on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Hot takes, reaction videos.
There you go.
Me and Graham. Actually, before we get into anything WWE related, can we please talk about the Final Deletion? Which I only just watched yesterday. Which I feel is a gift from God. Like, just the fact, you know what it is?
What?
And I explained it to a guy I work with because he watched it. He's like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yes, but
I know it's dumb. And even watching it, I was like, this is dumb. I don't like this. But I am obsessed with the fact that somehow that whole thing got the green light from someone, somewhere, who has money.
the Final Deletion is the culmination of this storyline in TNA on Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy was the champion as Big Money Matt Hardy.
Okay, I didn't watch the backstory video, so
he was like this, like, you know, being a big, like, pompous asshole, big Money Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
When he lost the title, he became Broken Matt Hardy, who has crazy, like, Ludwig Beethoven hair and talks with the worst, like, posh accent you've ever heard. It's this, like, overwrought, dramatic. Like,
in that video, he goes from a South African accent to a French accent to just American.
He's all over the place.
That's the best.
And so then this culmination with him and Jeff Hardy, who Broken Matt Hardy referred to throughout this feud as Brother Nero.
Why did he call him Brother Nero?
He just decided that he was Brother Nero and was a bad guy and must be deleted. His thing was he was going to delete everything. He's gonna delete you.
Best.
He would whenever even now, because he's super committed to kayfabe on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then he like posted a picture of like him and the Young Bucks or whatever.
I saw this.
Of them and the Young Bucks. Except on Matt Hardy's Twitter account, Jeff Hardy is just a white silhouette because he's been deleted.
That's the best.
So it all culminated in this thing called the Final Deletion. Which was this like cinematically shot wrestling match in heavy air quotes, in their backyard. Because they got their start backyard wrestling. And so there's like a ring set up. There's this preamble with like Matt's gardener like prepping the place.
Don't they mow the Hardy logo into the lawn?
Yeah. And then like the ref like drives up in a car and is like, is this the right place? I guess. We're still doing a match?
And there's like the ring surrounded by like these tiki torches for light. Oh my god, it's awesome.
It's ostensibly I guess it's a no DQ falls count anywhere match. Yeah. Because that's how it ends. But it's just this 20 minutes of utter lunacy of just like Matt and Jeff Hardy running around their backyard.
Awesome.
And it's shot, it's cinematically shot.
Yeah.
But it's still a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And anyway, my favorite part of it is when Jeff gets a hold of the Roman candles and starts shooting fireworks at Matt Hardy, who goes, oh shit, and starts running away. There's this boat near the lake. And Matt Hardy, for the benefit of no one, just yells aloud, it's a dilapidated boat! It's a dilapidated boat! And then dives behind it as a shield.
You know what my favorite parts were? Okay. Matt Hardy is in the ring by himself, and he says, I have to summon my brother with this violin, which was gifted to me by Stradivarius. Oh my god, it's odd. And then he starts playing the violin, and Jeff Hardy rolls up on like a dirt bike.
It's utter madness. It's on the TNA YouTube channel. You can
Just
go
watch it, please.
There's an 18-minute video that has like the preamble with Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, and then the Final Deletion match. It is completely bonkers.
And then my other favorite part was when Matt had Jeff pinned in the corner with a ladder, and he's just screaming, delete, 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 like over and over again.
I liked after the dilapidated boat, they go into the lake. Matt seems to drown Jeff.
He puts him in like a sleeper hold, and then they just fall into the river or the lake.
And then Matt gets back out without Jeff, and then rising from the water behind Jeff is Willow. Yeah. Are you familiar with Willow?
I know who Willow is.
It's a character Jeff Hardy portrayed in TNA. So it's like a Faces of Foley thing. Willow rises out of the water in full face paint and everything, attacks Matt Hardy, and then is just gone and Jeff's back. And
Who's the guy with the taser?
That's the gardener. That's the gardener.
The fact that I have to ask that question, who was the guy with the taser?
In like the preamble, he's like, "This would be our final battleground. Everything must be utterly perfect." And he's like, "Okay, Mr. Hardy." Just just give me my paycheck, dude. So,
you have to watch it. It's so good.
that's-
I don't care what anybody says. It is bad, and you should just watch it once.
Oh, it's bad, but
Just
it's
watch
so
it
great.
once, please. And it's just, I'm obsessed with the mystique surrounding it. I want to know, why.
It's so all their promos are so badly shot and edited and weirdly it's just like
It's like what Lucha Underground does, I guess.
yeah, but not well.
Near as good.
Because it's literally all those promos are just made by the Hardy brothers. They're just fucking around, and TNA is like, you have creative freedom, go for it. And they're like, great.
Anyway, I just had to do it because it was, oh my god.
Speaking of something with much better production, but maybe not as high entertainment value, it's Money in the Bank.
Yay!
Live from Las Vegas and presented by Gold Bond Ultimate. We open with a weird intro about Las Vegas and how Las Vegas is vicious.
Oh yeah.
Vegas will take you down.
Oh yeah.
Because it's, betting, gambling, and all this stuff. But in this case, it's Money in the Bank.
Where people go to lose their lives.
Yes. In the intro,
Yeah.
in the whole sort of video package at the beginning, they replay, because the title match is Rollins versus Reigns, and they replay that bit from the Ambrose Asylum where Dean Ambrose goes, or maybe I win Money in the Bank and cash it in on whoever wins. And it's like,
okay.
if that happens or not, I wouldn't have put that in the video package at the beginning of this, because then it won't be as much of a surprise if people are like, oh, but that could happen.
Yeah. Are we doing the pre-show?
I did not write anything down, but
I wrote like 2 sentences.
Please.
For the pre-show, I just wrote we had Golden Truth versus Breezango.
Right. Oh, this is where
they showed the tanning bed thing.
Tanning problem, and they have horrible peeling skin tan burns.
I loved this.
It's so gross.
And I think we talked about it on last show.
Yeah.
But this is I have turned the page on this team.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
Yeah, we talked about this. It's great.
Yeah, and they played it perfectly the whole match. They were just anytime they got a hit, they were it was like they had a real sunburn. I mean, just makeup, right? But Golden Truth pick up the win.
Yep.
And then on the next match,
because Breezango can't move with their horrible burns.
yeah. And next match we had Lucha Dragons versus the Dudley Boys.
Right.
And
why?
Why? Don't know. I think it was just filling in.
Who won?
Lucha Dragons.
Oh, cool.
We had a Salito del Sol into the Dragon Bomb, I think
Is that what Sin Cara's move is?
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah.
Didn't even know he had a move.
How far have the Dudley Boys fallen? I don't even know what they're doing with that team. Who do they get drafted to? SmackDown?
I don't know. I can
remember.
refer. We'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it.
I have a list of all the drafts.
Now we're on to the main show.
Enzo and Cass are out first.
Yeah.
As Enzo says, me and Lady Luck were all the way up all night long. Which I guess means that you had a good run at the tables.
Yeah.
So cool. This is a fatal four-way match
Yeah.
for the tag team titles. It is Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains versus Gallows and Anderson versus the New Day defending.
Yeah.
I always hate fatal four-way tag team matches because I think the rules that they have for them in WWE are stupid because you can only have 2 men legal at the same time.
Yeah.
I think if it's a fatal four-way match, you should have one guy from each team is legal at the same time. That's what I would think. But instead, you have to contrive a situation where Enzo or Cass would have to tag out with Gallows or Anderson because if they don't tag out, then someone else will get the pin.
Yeah.
It's like this weird if I don't tag out, then I'm going to get my ass kicked and someone else is going to win, and then we definitely won't win.
Yeah.
So I have to tag out with someone who's not my team just because I can't get to my own corner, just so the match can continue. But it's I don't know. I've always had a problem with
You know what I've always wondered?
What?
Why not tag your partner in and pin them? What happens?
Would that work?
I don't know. That's what I've always wondered.
Presumably not.
Yeah. But does it work?
I don't know.
Because I've always wondered. All the years I've watched wrestling, I don't think I've ever, maybe I've seen it attempted, but it's never happened.
Yeah. The other thing that always bugs me is JBL and I think it's Byron are having this argument.
Yeah.
Someone says it's mathematically improbable that the champs will walk out the winners. And someone's like, yeah, it'll be 25%. And they go, yeah, that's mathematically improbable, which is true, I guess. But what bugs me is they always say this about Fatal 4-Way matches, that the champs have a 25% chance of walking out the winner.
Yeah.
That's not... No, that's
not how percentages work. Yeah.
That's assuming a random selection, right? If it's like 1 through 4, roll a dice.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a 25% chance the champs walk out.
Yeah.
But this is not a random. There's a lot more variables at play here.
Yeah.
Especially in a match like this where the champs might not even be in the thing. It just, from a mathematics perspective, it bothers me whenever they're like, in a Fatal 4-Way match, so-and-so only has a 25% chance to win. When it's like, no, they could have way more or way less depending on who else is in the match.
Yeah.
But anyway.
From a kayfabe perspective, like how skilled they are and like who's stronger and
I guess.
who's injured. But yeah, I get... Yeah, I never really thought about that, but now it's going to bother me. Now the next time they mention it, I'm like, Graham, fuck! You ruined it! Yeah, this match was... From a match perspective, it got a little sloppy near the end. There was a couple kind of missed spots. There was actually times where they were just standing around. Yeah. And I think like there was one moment, I think it was Gallows or Anderson was kind of waiting for somebody to come into the ring. I think it was like Big Cass or something, and he was just kind of like sitting on the ropes awkwardly for like
just
10 seconds or something. But it felt, it just felt like there wasn't, from these 4 teams, which I expected kind of just like real fast beats and everything's gonna be smooth and fluid and everything else. It wasn't that, but I didn't really take away from the match too much for me. I loved how vicious Ganderson are and the Vaudevillains are. Yeah. There was a couple things that I wrote down. Big Cass body drops Big E over the top rope. Yeah, that's to impressive. The outside. That was impressive. Big E's spear to the outside still scares me. Yep. I think he almost landed on his head again. Yeah. Every time he does the spear through the middle rope when the guy is standing on the apron. Yeah. And every time he goes through, he either looks like he lands on his head or almost lands on his head, and it's terrifying.
Luckily, he's got ludicrous neck muscles.
There is a bit of a kerfuffle in the end. We get a magic killer on Aiden English, and then Big E stops the pin, and then they do that double team finisher with Kofi and him, like the big ending, like the super big ending. I don't know what they call it now. They do it to Carl Anderson. Yeah. And then Kofi pins English. Right. And I think there was like some mix up between like who is the legal man.
I think there definitely was. Yeah. Really confusing at the end.
Because I don't actually know if English was the legal guy, but everyone was just like, But yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was okay. I mean, there was a lot of people like up in arms about how the Bullet Club, like the club, should have won this. Because they, quote unquote, needed it. You know, like when the people throw around that term, he needs this win. I was like, I don't think they do.
No, I don't think they do either. No. Not yet. Next is a backstage segment with Owens and Jericho, and then later Del Rio with some choice quotes. This is the same 2 groups of 3 that were in that episode of Raw. Yeah. Just doing great backstage work.
And this stuff was great too.
Owens says, with no hint of irony, "I'm very special. That's what my mom tells me all the time." Jericho says, "In the dark world of the WWE, I am the shining light." Yeah. Then Owens goes, "Oh look, Alberto Del Rio is here to speak some Spanish."
So good.
Del Rio comes in and speaks Spanish. And
I think he doesn't he call out Jericho for not changing either. I think in this segment he's like, "You guys never change. Like you're always the same." Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
Del Rio calls them perros, and Jericho says, "I don't see any perros. I just see a pero idiots." I should have waited until you stop drinking.
That's all right. Yeah. The whole segment's great. Like, we talked about it last time, and this is just given all 6 of these guys a platform to be charismatic. Yeah, just to, like, show that they have some personality. And that's what people ultimately fall in love with, right? Like, Kevin Owens still gets cheered by a large portion of the crowd, I guess, or the WWE universe. And I think this is one of the reasons why, because he's, like, legitimately funny. Yeah. And he's just got this personality that you either, I don't want to say love to hate. But I just love to love it. Like, it's just great.
Oh, yeah. Baron Corbin's match is on the main show this time.
Yeah, he did it.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Inane commentary of the night is referring to Baron Corbin. He's always alone, hence the Lone Wolf nickname. Why'd you call Baron Corbin the Lone Wolf? Oh, because he's always alone. Oh, I guess I could have worked that one out myself. All right, fair enough.
Awesome. I really like this match. I thought it was a lot of fun. I didn't write a ton of notes on it.
From like an in-ring perspective.
From an in-ring perspective, and I'm glad that this feud's over.
Is it now?
I think so.
I better be, because I haven't actually like...
Spoiler alert, Ziggler and Corbin got drafted to the same side.
I know, and that's why I was like, oh great, good, I can't wait to see these guys feud in the mid-card.
I think they're done. I think so.
I hope so.
And I think Corbin will feud with, more spoilers, Kalisto. Because he was drafted too. And they had some interactions just this last week on Raw. Okay. So I'm assuming that that's where that's going. But this match was just Dolph Ziggler being Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
And Baron Corbin still improving like every time I watch him. Mm-hmm. I like Baron Corbin. I like him. I like the way he looks. I like the way he wrestles. Mm-hmm. I like the character that he portrays. This guy who doesn't understand why people like the fan favorites. He doesn't understand why people like them.
Yeah.
And it angers him.
Yeah.
Like the indie darlings kind of stuff that he goes after. What he did in NXT was go after these so-called indie guys. Yeah. But Baron Corbin gets the win with the End of Days, so hopefully that's the nail in the coffin for that feud.
I hope so.
And we can move on from here. I'm actually excited to see what kind of chance Ziggler gets now, too.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I want him back in the top picture.
Yeah.
Next is the women's tag match. So the title is not on the line. It is Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch. Mm-hmm. This is a fine match.
Yeah, it's okay.
There's an awkward tag attempt from Natty at one point.
Yeah! I wrote this down too, yeah. Isn't this the one where she's reaching for like forever?
Yeah.
Is that this one?
I thought that was this,
yeah. This is this one, sorry, yeah. Because didn't this happen before too? With Becky reaching out?
I think so.
For somebody?
There's various shenanigans all around.
It all blends, man. The more wrestling you watch, and you're just like...
well, when they keep doing the same matches.
Yeah.
There's various shenanigans. Dana flings Becky into Natalya.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte capitalizes with the natural selection.
Yeah.
And gets the 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Becky's consoling Natalya in the ring. And then Natalya snaps and attacks Becky because...
I think, to me, this made sense.
Okay.
Because, when I was watching this match, and the second they lost, Natalya looked crushed.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh my God, we lost again? Like, what keeps happening?
Right.
And she's like, whose fault is this? And, like, I'm assuming she just looked at Becky and was like, hey, like, you idiot, you cost us this match. Which I think is, like, a reasonable... if I'm trying to put myself in Natalya's shoes...
I mean, this is a storytelling... in wrestling, a storytelling trope that's happened a bunch where it's like the team lost because one member got flung into the other member, but the victim, in this case Natalya, isn't clear that it was Dana's fault that Becky hit her, and thinks that it was Becky being sloppy, and so then takes her anger out on Becky.
Yeah.
And
I was like 100% okay with it. I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Fair enough.
For where this feud was going next, between these four women, like I think they needed to separate Natalya and Charlotte. Like that was over, right? Because they've wrestled, 3 times? This is their 4th time?
I think so, yeah.
Dating back to Roadblock? Yeah. And, they wrestled at Roadblock, nothing at WrestleMania.
That was for the title at Roadblock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 pay-per-views, they wrestled each other in singles matches.
Yeah.
And now it's a tag match.
Yeah.
So it's like, this needs to end.
Yeah.
They need to get away from each other. And I think in the confines of this storyline, this was the only way that they could... I mean, there's obviously other directions they could go, but this is the easiest. Yeah. It's like, you run into her, and then you get mad, and then that's it. I actually liked it. Natalya's very good in the ring. Becky's very good in the ring. They have a match at Battleground now. So, yeah, I was totally okay with it. Thought it made sense. And then Charlotte can move on to presumably Sasha Banks.
Presumably.
Is where I thought this would be going next, or at least heading into SummerSlam.
Yeah. Dean backstage in an interview. My favorite line from this interview is because he's asked how he thinks the championship match will go.
Yeah.
He says, well, I think Roman is going to have a fun time beating up Seth. It's fun to do.
Yeah, it's fun to beat up Seth.
It's fun to beat up Seth. It's just like, yeah. That's about it. That's all that's really of note there.
It was so good.
Apollo Crews in a match against who?
Sheamus.
Sheamus, right. I forgot to write that down. I just wrote Apollo Crews wins one for the new era.
I thought you were just making a joke. Like,
nope. Literally forgot to write down that it was Sheamus. Because this is the dumbest little feud.
Yeah, it made no sense. It was just Sheamus being mad that there's all these new guys coming in.
Yeah.
And he was like,
He decided
spot.
He decided to target the largest guy.
Yeah. So, my only notes for this match was there was a belly-to-belly to the outside by Crews, and then he did a moonsault off the apron. Nice. Which is like, Crews is a big man. It's always impressive. I don't care. The Crews character, I mean, there is no character, right? Like, Crews as a baby face.
Smiley guy.
It's a smiley guy. Yeah. That's it. That's all we know about Crews. I don't know anything else about him.
Nope.
He's a smiley guy. He's really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here, Michael. Like, that's it. Like, that's all we know. So I need something else out of this before I'm, like, willing to be invested in any storyline that Apollo Crews is a part of. And I don't even think that's too, like... My standards aren't high, right? Yeah. I just want to know, like, what does Apollo Crews stand for? The character. We don't know anything.
He didn't even get much of a chance to develop in NXT.
No. So, I don't know. I think that's why I'm worried. Yeah. It's like they're throwing this guy out there with no...
Development?
Yeah, no development or no...
No thought to how the story's going to
Exactly.
progress.
Like, just no thought. Like, it's just like, there's no direction. There we go, with no direction. So it's just like, God, I can't help but feel bad for him.
So you remember last episode when we were, like, talking about the Shining Stars and how they had that match on Raw?
Yeah.
And then just all these other vignettes. And we were like, what have they done?
Yeah.
In the comments, some people were like, well, since their debut, they had the match on Raw that we saw.
Yeah.
And one match on Superstars.
Jesus.
And that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
The fuck was the point of all the vignettes?
A trip to Puerto Rico? A waste of money? I don't know.
They got drafted, though.
Oh, okay, that's good at least.
Yeah. I think they got drafted to, like, SmackDown or something.
Yeah, sure. Next.
Here we go.
John Cena, AJ Styles. Let's go Cena,
I love
AJ Styles.
how every crowd does the John Cena song.
John
now
Cena
sucks. John Cena sucks. It's so awesome.
I still can't believe it took us so long to figure that one out.
Yeah, I know, right?
So it opens with a great video package with clips of baby AJ, like little teeny AJ.
Oh
doing wrestling, because to basically to show like, yeah, he's been around for a very long time.
Yeah,
as well.
When he was like in TNA even.
Yeah.
When he had like this short kind of like crew cut hair and then like no beard, he looks like about 17 or something.
Literal baby face. Yeah. Cena has another new shirt.
Yeah.
That's like styled after Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, he got nailed with this cease and desist.
Did he really?
Yeah, but no, you didn't see this?
Oh, no.
Okay, so there was like a tweet, and it was John Cena showing off his new shirt, and then Pabst Blue Ribbon retweeted it, and then quoted it, and said, hey, you can't get out of it. We've got a special move called the cease and desist. It was awesome. And I guess they immediately took down all the merchandise and like changed something.
No kidding. Yeah.
Because it looked like
the PBR logo.
Yeah, it's like
also,
dead on.
He had a new shirt when he came back at Memorial Day, and now he's got a new shirt at... I know Cena moves merch, but it's like, if you keep making merch for him, sure.
Yeah.
This is a good match.
Oh, this match is...
This was great.
Loved this match. I did feel... You see, this is what I'm trying to figure... Now that I've got you here.
All
okay.
right.
So there are points in this match where Cena looks slow.
Yeah.
And winded, and I wasn't sure. Is he just a really good actor? Because like I don't know if he was trying to.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, but was he playing up how awesome AJ was in the context of the storyline?
Possibly,
because like they're really playing this whole. Oh, we've got new blood coming in. They're all hungry, and it's like, well, I'm the gatekeeper. My name's John Cena. You gotta go through me, Jack. You know what he says? Yeah, but he looked legitimately shocked at certain points with AJ's speed and athleticism.
Early in the match, he's standing there looking at AJ, taunting him with the "you can't see me," and AJ just elbows him in the face.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And he's like, oh
no. Yeah. And then
the crowd is into this match, by the way.
oh, it's great. Yeah. There's is it a phenomenal forearm? It gets reversed into the STFU or whatever it's called.
Yep.
And then AJ reverses the attitude adjustment to the calf crusher.
And the crowd goes insane at that point.
This is what I meant. When Cena did the 5-knuckle shuffle,
Yeah.
he was like, I don't even know if you're going to be able to show video on this clip.
Right.
And I hope you can, because he just...
I've been getting away with little clips.
Yeah. It's so frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah. So he does this 5-knuckle shuffle, and he doesn't do like it with his normal kind of speed and everything. That's why I was like, is Cena just like gassed? He does it really lazily. It's like, I wrote here, weakest 5-knuckle shuffle of life. Wow. That was it.
Gassed is the term for when you're out of gas.
Yeah,
when a wrestler's just like, they have nothing left to give in the tank.
I think the actual term in wrestling is they call it blowing up. I'm blowing up. We got to take this home. It's like, it's been 2 minutes. You can't blow up yet. I think Ultimate Warrior was famous for that.
Oh, yeah.
Just
he ran out of
blowing
steam real quick.
Yeah.
When we were moving, like 5 years ago, we hired movers, and they were all like really wiry guys, like really skinny, who they like lifted a shit ton of boxes all morning, and then ate like 5 sandwiches, and then just lifted a shit ton of stuff all afternoon, couches and stuff like that. And I don't know why I made some sort of offhand comment about it, and the guy that runs the moving company is like, yeah, well, I mean, you hire big muscle guys, they'll lift whatever the hell you want for half an hour.
No cardio, bro.
Yeah, he's like, you got to get guys like this that can go all day.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like, oh yeah, yeah. Ultimate Warrior's a big guy.
Yeah,
was a big guy.
Was.
The comment, not for him. He was an asshole. He was a massive bigot.
It's true.
Someone says one of the announcers is like, legacies are at stake, which it's like, I guess.
Yeah,
kind of.
The only thing that I didn't like
was like build for this match.
The only thing I didn't like about this match is like, people have been waiting 15 years for this match. I was like, I'm pretty sure when John Cena first came to the WWE, no one was like, I want to see that guy and AJ Styles wrestle. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to see that guy and a guy I've never heard of. Like, people have been waiting like maybe like 6 or 7 years, maybe at most.
I would say since maybe after AJ got popular in Japan is when people really started talking to him.
Definitely. But I mean, when he was like #1 guy in TNA, was around when Cena was like #1 guy.
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I could see that. I'd be like, hey, what about the guy from that company and the guy from that company?
I think it was more when people looked at AJ, they were like, oh, what about AJ and like Shawn Michaels? AJ and, I don't know. Yeah, I'm drawing blanks. Yeah. All right. There's a springboard 450, which Cena gets his knees up for. And then we get the club coming down.
Before that, actually, Cena kicks out of the Styles Clash.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to get upset. Just because I love the Styles Clash as a move. Yeah. I think it's a lot of fun.
You're not going to be that guy.
No, I'm not going to be that guy.
Never kick out of finishers.
Make finishers great again.
I mean, we talk about the dirty deeds a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's because Ambrose needs something definitive in his arsenal. Yeah. You know? There's a ref bump. Yep. Which is like, oh, okay. So a ref bump is when either through intentional chicanery on behalf of the heel, or more often, through some sort of accident during the match, the ref there's a lot of screaming happening next door. The ref gets knocked out.
Usually they'll pick them up for a slam, and the ref will get hit in the head with a foot.
With like a foot. So Cena.
You ever wonder why refs are so weak? Yeah, don't you think that someone would watch that and be like, well, we can't hire that guy ever again because he got brushed with a foot and he's out.
They all have brittle bone syndrome.
They're soccer players.
They have hollow bones like a bird. Cena does an attitude adjustment. Yeah. Which AJ does not kick out of. Yeah. But the ref is down.
I think the crowd counts along.
Yeah. Yeah. But the ref is down.
Yeah.
So nothing happens. So then Gallows and Anderson run in. Yeah. Beat the crap out of Cena. Drag AJ on top of Cena. Yeah. And the ref regains consciousness. This is how ref bumps always go.
This the ref the way she goes.
regains consciousness and goes, oh, look, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And AJ wins.
What always like threw it off for me is like, doesn't the ref hear this going on? You know what I mean? Like,
you're groggy.
You're groggy, I guess.
You've been concussed.
You're all just banging around. You're like,
and all these concerns about concussions, like how many, these refs.
Yeah, they must.
Like referee Charles Robinson must have had so many concussions over all the ref bumps in his career.
Yeah.
The Hebners are like Jello upstairs.
Swiss cheese, bro.
Yeah.
Overall, I really like this match. I did get. God, I'm just drawing blanks for words. JBL freaks out after this match.
Yeah.
Talking about how the fans were robbed.
I guess.
This is the one time this is one of the few times where I will criticize JBL.
Why is JBL?
Fucking pick a lane, JBL. Like,
Right?
be a heel or are you a good announcer or a bad announcer?
Yeah, well, he's a bad announcer.
He's a bad announcer.
Is he a face or a heel announcer?
No, that wasn't fair.
No.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? It felt really out of character.
It did, because he's always he always punts for the heels. He's always like, yeah, go heels.
Yeah, go heels.
And so this was like, how dare they?
Yeah.
It was weird, but
it was like, I don't know. It was like, he was all upset. He's like, the universe was robbed. We just wanted to watch two of the greatest go after each other, metal.
And then Michael Cole with because he's the best announcer, right?
Yeah.
This smooth transition. Well, Cena must have felt like he just got swerved, John. Swerved on the WWE Network season 2. It's just like,
Awesome.
okay. Next up, the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah.
Not the main event, but the title event of this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Alberto Del Rio, Kevin Owens, and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
A ladder match. The first person to ascend a ladder and retrieve the contract from the briefcase suspended above the ring wins the contents of the briefcase, which is a contract for the title that he can cash in at any time. I think technically it's the title of their choice, but no one's going to be like, ha, Intercontinental title, get you.
Okay. Bear with me.
All right.
Never mind. I'm not even going to say it. What if one of them cashed in on the women's title?
I don't know.
That's, you know what I mean? Like, could they? By the rules, they could.
I think they should. I think they should have a women's Money in the Bank match. If they're still like squiffy about making it a ladder match, which I don't think they should. I think they should have a ladder match. They could do. I don't know. I guess it'd be a battle royal, wouldn't it?
Nah. What you know? What I want to see? Just a woman put in this match.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I guess, but then
if she wins, like
if she
there's
wins
only one title, she's going to cash in. But what if she cashed in on the world title?
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get it. That'd be really interesting.
But I don't think we'll ever see it.
Probably not. Maybe not. Maybe eventually.
Well, I shouldn't say ever.
Maybe someday. At the time, it was definitely any of the world titles. Like originally, when there was only one of them. And then for a while, there was one for each brand because they had the old brand split. It was any of the world titles, which I'm pretty sure the announcers were clear at the time meant either the WWE World Championship, or the World Heavyweight Championship, or the ECW Championship. Oh. Weirdly, no one ever took them up on that third one.
I wonder why.
Because technically the ECW Championship was a world title.
All right.
When they did the WWE ECW rebrand.
Yeah.
You know, with the zombie.
Fuck.
Don't worry about it. All right.
I'm so mad.
The bell rings, and because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are in the match, they immediately start hitting each other.
Just start fighting. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm still not sick of it.
No,
I just want to watch it all the time.
Yeah. Unsurprisingly, this match was sweet.
Yeah, this match was awesome. There's the parts that stuck out for me was there's one point where Owens is on the outside and he charges at Sami Zayn and then he just stops and super kicks him. He looked like Sami was pinned up against the ladder, or like pinned by the ladder, I think, up against the apron, and then Owens looked like he was going to run and like flip on it or something, but then he just stops, sidesteps the ladder, and then super kicks him. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So a Cesaro swing on Jericho.
Okay.
And at the end of the swing, he just threw Jericho into the ladder. And then the other point was the Michinoku driver by Sami Zayn onto Owens onto a ladder sitting like not flat, but
right, yeah,
kind of like that. And he was doing. I'm sure this joke has been made on Twitter or something, but when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it reminded me of that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's the big brother and he gets hit onto the fire hydrant. He's like, ah! It's like, this is more painful than it looks.
Yeah, I bet that really hurt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was rough. But I don't know, the match was a lot of fun. I mean, Money in the Bank is almost always good.
It's always a good show. Yeah. They did used to have more people in it.
Wasn't it like 7?
7 or 8. When I noticed when I was putting the last episode together, we were saying, like, after that episode of Raw where they had all the qualifier matches, we were like, so that's 5 of the 6 people in it, right? But the graphic in that episode of Raw had 2 question mark silhouettes.
Really?
Yeah, it showed 7 figures, 5 of whom had been filled in, and then question mark, and then we had Del Rio and nobody else. So at the time, they were thinking it was going to be a 7-person match.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Stuff changes all the time.
I think there was talk of like Finn Balor making his debut.
Yeah, that could be cool.
But yeah, we get an ending sequence with Dean and... Oh, no. Sorry, I forgot about the one part I really liked was... I mean, wrestling's ridiculous, right? This doesn't make any sense. But they set up the ladders, all like platforms.
Dude, the Money in the Bank ladder match gets the most ridiculous. You're just watching them put ladders into other ladders and hang them on the ropes and straddle between the ropes and the barricade and the ring, and you're just like, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
What possible reason? It's always ridiculous.
I can't remember who the pairings were, but they had 2 people up on top of the ladder, right where the briefcase was.
There's a ladder set up in the middle of the ring.
And then there's 2 on each side.
And
one on each side.
Between that ladder and the turnbuckles in opposing corners, there was ladders flat. Suspended between the ropes and the main ladder in the middle.
Yeah.
There was 2 people on that ladder, and 2 people standing on the one ladder plank, and 2 people standing on the other ladder plank.
And they were just punching each
other. And all
other.
the pairs were just punching each other.
It was awesome. It was a cool visual. I just really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean wins. Which actually surprised...
it surprised me.
It surprised me, yeah.
I don't know who I was expecting.
Picking Owens. I picked Owens.
That's fair.
I was like, Owens is going to win this. Like, hands down. Because I don't know why. I just love Owens. So I was like, I would love to see Kevin Owens walk around with that briefcase for a year.
Yeah.
Do you imagine all the shit talking he would do?
Man.
It'd be so good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. One day I think he's going to be winning it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Prediction right now, Kevin Owens wins the next Money in the Bank. I'm doing it.
Solid. I like it.
So Dean wins.
Yeah. What implications could this have?
Possibly happen.
This is interesting.
Yeah. So now, before the main title, the main event, we have Titus versus Rusev.
Titus O'Neil is the 2015 Mega Dad of the Year.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
He's a mega dad, man.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I'm looking this up.
Who
gets to decide what a mega dad is?
I don't know. They give him a mug. Someone off the street's like, hey.
Mega Dad of the Year. I just want to see the international Society of Dads. Yeah.
Is there a panel of dads that vote?
The panel of dadliness. Oh, autocorrect failure. I am now Googling Mega Dad of the Year. Oh, here we go. Okay. He's been named Celebrity Dad of the Year by everythingfordads.com.
Okay.
The 2nd annual Mega Dads Award.
Is there like a regular dad of the year? Like, do they just pick a regular dad? Because he's a celebrity dad, right?
Yeah.
So I nominate Graham Stark for next year's Mega Dad.
Here we go.
You heard it here first.
Here are the complete details on the awards. That's why the New Day, after Kofi had his 2nd kid, that's why the New Day came out with that sign that was like the real Mega Dad pointing at Kofi.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Everythingfordads.com. Talks, news, and views. Okay. Sure. It's just a site. The Mega Dad Awards.
I see.
It's a site about
that is a very bare bones.
It's a very bare bones site. It's a locked page.
It's only for dads.
I'm a dad.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
I misplaced my password.
Maybe because I'm here. They're like, hey, there's a non-dad viewing our website.
Maybe it's printed on Penelope somewhere. I have to turn the baby over. There's the password. The Dad's World Network. About
England
us.
Clam chowder. Red or white?
A powerhouse force in the world of dads. Here you'll find our unique blend of interactive modern media content for and about dads and parenting from across the globe.
Oh.
Okay. A dynamic up-to-the-minute blend of media and celebration of dads and their families. I've never heard of this website.
I love how this is an obsession for you right now.
I just don't know what the fuck that means when they introduced Titus O'Neil as the 2015 Mega Dad of the Year. It's like, okay, I can make stuff up too.
Do you think it's better or worse than winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? Would you rather be Mega Dad or the winner of the armbar?
For me personally, I think one of them is more achievable. So I'll try for Mega Dad next year.
You never know.
It's possible.
You could hide under the ring and just get out at the last second.
Titus comes out,
Yeah.
goes up and kisses his kid, because his son's in the front row. Rusev comes out and poses in front of the kid.
Dude, Rusev was so good, especially after this match is finished. But I literally, the only note I wrote here, two big dudes knock the piss out of each other.
I wrote down, this was a match that much is certain. Which I think we're both accurate.
Yeah, dude, they did knock the piss out of each other.
They did.
I'm sorry I didn't take more notes, but every time I was watching it, I was like, wow, these two are just big dudes, and they're just hammering each other.
At one point, Titus blocks the accolade by being too large for Rusev to put the accolade on him. He can't lock it in because Titus is just too big and doesn't bend that way.
Yeah.
But
you get that big because
eventually he does lock it in.
Yeah.
And Rusev retains the title, and then just goes and rips into Titus's kid.
Yeah, he cuts a promo on his kids. Yeah. It's awesome. And this was Father's Day.
Yeah.
So he beats up their dad.
The Mega Dad.
The Mega Dad makes him tap out in the middle of the ring and tap. Everyone knows tapping out is like 75% worse than getting pinned.
Oh, yeah.
No one wants to tap out.
Yeah.
Never see John Cena tap out. Guy has a towel that says never give up.
Yeah.
Never tap out.
That's why it's always a big deal when John Cena taps out.
When has John Cena ever tapped out?
It's like once.
To who?
I can't remember.
Comment section! I implore you.
I'm sure he's tapped out once or twice.
Tell me when John Cena has tapped out. And link evidence or I won't believe you.
And
But anyway,
tell me who else was in the... Tell me a list of previous Mega Dads. Yeah. I'm not allowed to look at the website. Because this guy's here.
You mean to leave the room? I'll leave so you can conduct Megadad business.
I need to research this.
Yeah. But he cuts the promo. He's like, your dad's crap.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day. Like, I think that's what he says. Smashka. I love how Rusev has U.S. champ on his tights.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Rusev, you do you, man.
It's great.
You're the best.
Title match.
Yeah.
Title match. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns.
Yep.
For Reigns' title.
Yeah.
There's an extensive video package.
Yeah.
They have fought before for the title, and Rollins cleanly retained it.
What the fuck was that?
I do not remember, but I wrote it down. I'm going to believe myself.
I need sources. Just because you're part of the Megadad Society doesn't mean you can just make up things you want.
Wasn't it, it wasn't SummerSlam. No, it wasn't SummerSlam, because that was the John Cena thing. It was John Cena and Rollins at SummerSlam.
Maybe you're right. I don't know.
It was before the injury.
Was it? Before Roman's injury or Seth's
No, before Seth's injury, obviously, because it would have been Roman challenging Seth for it.
Oh, right. Yeah. I am confused about this match. Because Roman wrestled like the big bad guy. And Seth Rollins wrestled like the scared little baby face. Getting hurt all the time.
Yep.
So it's like... Can we just pick a direction with this guy? That's why I have a problem. I gotta pick up my notebook again.
Reigns tries to spear Rollins into the barricade.
Yeah.
But Rollins gets out of the way.
Yeah.
So Reigns just sort of like goes through the barricade. So that was kind of funny. There's another ref bump.
Yep, we like ref bumps.
Two ref bumps in one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Rollins is trying for the pedigree, and Reigns bumps the ref, which is another heel thing that could be just explained by Roman being oblivious, like happened to that
the AJ Styles match.
Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know what's going on here.
It's just so like, God, it's weird.
Seth hits, this is sweet.
Oh, this is the sickest reversal of the year. Nothing's gonna beat this.
I mean, the forearm into the spear was good.
Yeah.
Right? AJ's forearm into Reigns' spear was good.
But this
is, Reigns dives for the spear at Seth, who jumps and grabs Reigns and turns it into a pedigree.
He even hooked an arm. He managed to hook an arm in midair.
Yeah.
He didn't get both, so 8 out of 10.
Yeah, which JBL craps on him for. He's like, well, Seth didn't get both arms, so he didn't really lock it in.
Come on! JBL, I spent so much time defending you. I can't defend you when you say shit like that. I know you don't watch this, but the small chance that maybe you see it.
Seth follows it up with another pedigree.
Yeah.
With both arms this time.
Got him.
And wins.
Yeah. I was just like...
Rollins wins clean.
What? I was like... What? So, okay, so what happened after this, which we talked about last week, was Roman Reigns got busted under the wellness program.
Yeah.
This is why I love wrestling. I want to know what the original plans were.
Because they definitely knew before this match that was happening.
Yeah.
Also, I mentioned it in the comment section on YouTube for the last episode, but I want to say it out loud on this one. We were sort of theorizing, what could it be? And I was like, well, weed. Pot is not part of the wellness policy.
Yeah.
Pot is a $2,500 fine, which apparently superstars that are into the dank nugs basically just consider the cost of doing business.
This is why you're not allowed to view the Megadad website.
Yeah, no kidding. Basically, if a superstar is into weed, they're just going to smoke weed and be like, and if they get caught, they'll be like, all right, you caught me, here's your $2,500.
Stop it.
Because they want to smoke their weed. So it can't have been weed. So it must have been presumably some sort of performance enhancer. So thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But because we didn't know about the suspension at this time, I was astonished that Rollins won clean.
Clean.
Yeah, just won.
Yeah.
And then, as if I wasn't already losing my mind enough, Dean's music hits.
Yeah.
I'm going, what? No, really? He's actually going to do the thing that he said?
Yeah. I just wrote, holy shit.
And Rollins is looking at the ramp.
Yeah.
Dean hits him from behind with the Money in the Bank briefcase, which is always a nice touch.
Yeah.
And gives it to the ref, cashes it in, just immediately, boom, hits him with the dirty deeds.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, Dean Ambrose, your new World Heavyweight Champion. The crowd goes bonkers.
Yeah.
They are over the moon.
I almost feel, at this point is when I felt a little bad for Roman. Because not only did
a little teeny bit,
like he knew he was getting suspended, I'm assuming. And he watched another guy who's a babyface that has got over naturally get cheered for his big moment.
Yeah, universally cheered. Yeah.
And everyone's like, thank Christ. Yep. But I actually felt bad at this point, storyline wise, I felt really bad for Seth. I was like, oh, Seth worked so hard to get here, and then he beat Big Bad Roman, and then
he never originally lost.
Yeah.
He had to vacate the title because he hurt his knee.
Big meanie Ambrose came in, but it was good. Yeah, it's good.
It was great.
I did not expect this. I know a lot of people were like, yeah, I called it.
No, because I found out about this before actually watching Money in the Bank because the suspension news came out.
Yeah,
and so I was like, holy shit! Wait, Dean won the ladder match and then cashed in and won?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns suspended for wellness violation, and I was like, oh, that explains it.
Yeah.
Still, though, that's super awesome for Dean.
Was there one other time the Money in the Bank was cashed in the same night? Wasn't it Kane on Reigns?
Kane did it. At WrestleMania, I think it was. No. It was at the Money in the Bank thing. And that was because every year my wrestling buddies and I were like, man, wouldn't it be cool if someone cashed it in that night? You'd never expect it. And then he did, and I was like, hey, that's so cool.
Yeah. So that's good.
The following night, the Raw for June 20th.
Yep.
Dean opens the show by rolling up in a cab and almost forgetting the title in the back seat of the cab, which is so great because usually when you have like new champion, right, they roll up in like a town car or a limousine wearing like a suit, and it's like, now that I'm the champ, I got to present myself well, I got to take myself seriously.
Yeah.
And Dean's just like farting around in a cab. He almost forgets the title, or like, whoops, lol. So Dean opens the show.
Yeah.
He comes out, a huge "You deserve it" chant.
Yeah.
Just massive. You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Dean recaps his crazy night in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's like, so I did this thing, went to this casino, and all this crazy stuff happened. Oh, right, and then I won this title. He starts, he's like, so Roman calls himself the guy.
Yeah.
And Seth is the man.
Yeah.
Does that make me the dude? Am I the dude?
Am I the dude?
And he's like,
When he said that, all I could think of was, hey, this is a no pets residence, man. And they throw the ferret into the tub.
Dude, Yeah.
That's all I can ever think of when someone says dude. Ever.
Yeah, well, it's just like your opinion, man. I do like the follow-up is he's like, you know what, just call me whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just call me champ.
Yeah. Roman Reigns interrupts.
Yeah. And congratulates.
God, the booze.
He congratulates Dean with a bunch of platitudes.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, hey, Dean, you know, you and me, we're cool. All right, you know, sweet. Hey, man. How cool was it to cash in on Seth? You know, like, what'd that feel like?
Yeah.
And Dean's just like, I would have cashed in on you also, man.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I didn't care which one of you it was. Yeah.
There's actually, people search.
Is it the chant?
Yeah, the you can't wrestle, yes he can chant.
There's a you can't wrestle chant on Roman with a notably higher pitched, you can't wrestle.
Yes he can. Just pictured like a bunch of big brothers and then their little brothers counter chanting. It was pretty funny.
Reigns again. He's just he lacks the charisma to do what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He tries to work the crowd, but he just comes across like a dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is this the calm down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when The Rock would do this, it worked because The Rock has immense natural charisma.
Yeah.
Right, and he knows sort of how to play the crowd. When John Cena does it, he does it in his own way. When Stone Cold would do it, he would do it in his own sort of way.
Yeah.
Reigns tries to play the crowd, and it just comes across like he's being a dick.
Yeah. Actually, petulant is the term.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because the thing is, like, Rock came across like a dick, but he was sort of lovable. You know, Stone Cold came across like an utter asshole.
Yeah.
But
The thing too was
it worked
like
for his character. But yeah, whenever Reigns is trying to work the crowd and bring him back on his side, yeah, he comes across petulant.
because I think this was like him boiling over a little bit for the suspension.
Yeah.
This line, I think.
Probably.
Now that we're thinking back, like now that I've looked back on it and stuff. I haven't watched it again, but I think this came off like when he said it, I was just like, holy shit, really? Like Roman, what happened? Who's writing for you? Is like, is this the turn? Like every time Roman says anything bad, everyone's like, is this the heel turn finally? Like he's done it, but never does.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, sorry, the crowd's chanting, and Roman says, calm down, take a sip of your beer, and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Is the exact line that he says. So we're all like, what?
Yeah.
Roman,
Very strange.
which you calm down.
Rollins comes out
Yeah.
equally furious.
Yeah.
Dean just happily hugs the title. He's just like, I got the title.
Yeah.
Shane comes out. Why are there podiums at the top of the ramp?
Do you not know why?
Well,
Is that a rhetoric? They're like for the draft.
yeah, but
Yeah,
but in this episode,
Oh, I think they've had them there for weeks just
and this
because.
was the first episode they were there, and I was just
Yeah.
like, why are there podiums there?
Oh.
That's weird because they didn't address it
Oh, right.
in this
Yeah.
episode. There was
Yeah.
just like there's a Raw podium and a SmackDown podium up at the thing. And it's
Okay.
like, oh, I guess that's for a thing later.
Just to remind
All right,
us.
whatever.
Yeah.
Steph isn't there this week, so it's just Shane. And
Well, like the next segment, they hype the draft.
but they don't say that's what the podiums are
But during,
for.
oh, okay.
They just say they just have these podiums there.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a little weird, but I assumed it was something about that. But
Yeah.
anyway, they're talking about having a triple threat
Yeah.
with the Shield. They have to stop saying WrestleMania caliber main event
They've said that a lot.
because they just had they talk about how like having. Because the main event, what is the main event? Yeah, the main event is Reigns versus Rollins for a #1 contender spot for Dean's title.
Yeah.
And they're calling it a WrestleMania caliber main event. And it's like, well, it obviously isn't because you just had that match last night on Money in the Bank, and that was for the title.
Yeah.
This is
I
just
think
for
they were
#1
calling-
contendership.
Even last night, even the night before, they were calling it a WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they were
main
they
event.
were saying the AJ Cena match was a WrestleMania caliber match.
Yeah.
It's like you got to stop devaluing what counts as a WrestleMania
Yeah.
caliber match. JBL makes a joke that Byron might get drafted to ECW.
There was a this week on this week's Raw. Byron, they were talking it was just before the show ended, I think, and they were talking about the draft. And Byron's like, "Well, what if we get split up?" And Byron's like, "I hope so. I hope you get drafted and sent to Mars."
Mars has one 4th round draft pick.
Byron Saxton.
And they're like, Byron. Cut to, it's just like the movie The Martian, but it's Byron instead of Matt Damon. Yeah. And he's less good at making plans.
I was just
don't
picturing
know.
them JBL tying Byron to a rocket and then just shooting him into space.
There's also that option, yeah. Next is a match for it's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, quote, to settle it once and for all.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. This is it.
You think, say for example,
Yeah.
Zayn wins this match.
Yeah.
You think Kevin Owens is going to be like, oh, okay.
No.
Well, I guess that's the
From
end of
what
that.
we know of the Kevin Owens character?
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, there's a haluva kick into a super kick.
Yeah.
But Zayn reverses the pop-up power bomb.
Yeah.
It's like these guys have wrestled together for years.
sounds
It's like they know each other.
Yeah.
It's a cool
a
match.
roll-up, yeah.
It's a quick, cool match into a roll-up.
Yeah.
Zayn wins.
Yeah.
Owens beats him up afterwards. They fight more.
Yep.
We cut to commercial. We come back from commercial. They're still fighting backstage.
There's a Finley sighting.
I wrote that down too. I was like, Finley. Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's a road agent for them.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, Finley's pulling them apart.
Funly, as they like to call him on OSW Review.
Yeah. So then we have, because we've seen, who have we had? We had Teddy Long.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I guess this is the second one.
Oh,
So
this is funny because I didn't know who the fuck this guy was. Because I missed that.
Oh.
And I wrote, who the fuck is John Laurinaitis?
John Laurinaitis.
Yeah.
Senior VP of Talent Relations.
Yeah.
Lovingly referred to by CM Punk as Clown Shoes.
Yeah. So here, just let me.
Okay.
Who the fuck is John Laurinaitis?
Yeah.
Why the fuck is John or JBL losing his mind? He was losing it.
Because he was very much JBL's kind of GM.
Okay.
His thing was people power. He was like, we're going to give the people what they want, and what they want is this thing the people obviously don't want.
That sounds
right?
dumb as
He
fuck.
was like CM Punk was feuding with him a lot.
Okay.
Right. Good things about this guy. Formerly known as Johnny Ace.
Yeah.
He was a.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he was a
yeah,
wrestler.
Yeah.
He does a lot of backstage production. He was actually senior VP of Talent Relations at one point. He does.
Is that after Jim Ross?
Yeah.
Jim Ross was.
Yeah. This is more recently.
Okay.
I believe he booked Beast in the East. Like he's done a lot of wrestling in Japan.
Okay.
So he was sort of like lead creative on the Beast in the East special.
Okay.
And the man talks like Super Dave Osborne deep-throated a rasp. He's just like,
I never thought about that. That's so
my
funny.
name is John Laurinaitis, Senior VP of Talent Relations. I'm not even doing it right.
The last time I talked or thought about Super Dave Osborne, fuck, I used to love that show.
But he has like Super Dave's voice, but
Yeah.
also like
He kind of looks like him. He's got the same kind of face.
Yeah.
That's-
my name, and I can't even do it.
even
You have
do
to
it.
like really like mess up your throat.
Yeah.
My name is John Laurinaitis.
That's
There we
close.
go. That's better. It's all breath. There's
Yeah.
no like Senior VP of Talent Relations. I'm going to be the general manager of SmackDown.
I was so fucking confused. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready for what will probably be my most spectacular stunt.
Big Johnny's gonna throw his name in the hat to run SmackDown.
So and then Shane comes out and is like, "Oh my God, you senile old bat! Please come backstage." Shane's just trying to run the show. man.
Yeah.
So you can sort of see that they're doing like greatest hits of former GMs over the next couple weeks.
And then he says, like, I wrote down he doesn't want a corporate yes man.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
what we've been saying we didn't want for like a corporation or
Yeah.
any kind of like higher power kind of guy.
So because he goes over, he's like, I'll run SmackDown. And Shane's like, no, I'm going to run SmackDown. And then John Laurinaitis is like, that's a fantastic idea. You run SmackDown, and I'll run Raw. People power. Wow, that hurts.
I'm actually really glad I missed this. Was it even worse watching it from week to week?
It was okay.
It was okay.
I mean, he was the authority figure. Like,
Yeah.
Vince wasn't really around. Steph and Trips were like tangential to this, so he was like CM Punk's main foil for like a year.
Okay.
But he gave Punk a lot of good material to work with.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Enzo and Cass comes out.
Yep.
Enzo and Shane compare sneakers, dance around a bit.
Yeah, they do like a foot shake. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His jersey is part of his punchline. I can't remember what jersey he's wearing, but I wrote down
Dime.
Right.
No dimes.
Right. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, if he had a dime for every time, something.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every time the whatever, I can't remember what
I would have 0 dimes.
0 dimes. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, that's a lot of setup to get that jersey printed.
Yeah.
They also rip on Johnny Ace a little bit.
Yeah.
John Laurinaitis, yeah. It's Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillians.
Yeah.
And the match is not advancing a lot, but it's fun.
Yeah, there's a replay of Enzo's injury again,
Right.
which is always fucking terrifying.
Enzo
Don't
and Cass
like it.
win with the
Oh, God.
Bada Boom Shakalaka.
Yeah. I was under the impression that this move was called the Rocket Launcher.
Yeah.
Like as an LAW.
The Rocket Launcher.
Launcher.
It's like if the announcer for Metal Slug was from Long Island. Rocket Launcher. Heavy machine gun. Mission start. Sorry.
Yeah, but I guess Cole's calling it the
Bada boom shakalaka.
No, please no.
Please no.
I refuse to even write that move name down.
Yeah.
Rocket Launcher, please.
Launcher. Can I have a straw? We have a friend who grew up on Long Island, and she sometimes will slip back, and she loves doing impressions of the terrible Long Island accent. Yeah. And that's her, like, you know how like impressionists, they have like a line to like get into the character?
Yeah.
That's her one is, can I have a straw?
That's like,
straw.
You know when people say stuff in a different language, but then all of a sudden they just go into like an accent just for that one word? My sister does that with Japanese stuff because she lived in Japan for like 6 years or something.
Right.
And she was talking about something and she's like, yeah, and then you just get some sashimi. And it's like, what? What was that? Yeah. Where did that come from? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We did that after our trip to Japan. We were doing that with like certain words when we came back. Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ's out next.
Yeah.
To talk about his match with John Cena. He's freaking out.
Yeah.
Because Gallows and Anderson interrupted. He's like, he's really upset about this.
Yeah.
He's like, we were having a great match, then Gallows and Anderson had to come out here and interrupt, and how dare they? And you know what? I'm going to call them out here right now. And, you know, he gets them out here and he's like, you know.
Like a father scolding two children.
Luke Gallows, young man,
Yeah.
you need to apologize.
Yeah.
And Gallows is like, oh, I'm sorry, man. Okay. And Carl Anderson, you have to apologize as well. I'm sorry, AJ. And you can tell that, like AJ is trying, like, he's definitely pretending to be the most serious.
Yeah.
But Gallows and Anderson are like kind of cracking a smile a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can tell that like in character that they're having a goof.
Yeah.
Right? John Cena comes out and AJ says, "Oh, this is perfect. Great. Now you guys need to apologize to him."
Yeah.
You've apologized to me, but now apologize to him.
Yeah.
And they make some pretty sincere apologies like, "Hey, you know, Cena, hey man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have come out there. I'm sorry." And Cena's like, "I don't believe anything that any of you are saying." In a very John Cena way, he says, "You've only got your balls and your word, and you proved last night that you don't have either one."
Oh, shit, John Cena.
AJ's angle on this
is
that Gallows and Anderson coming out gave Cena an excuse.
Yeah, I really like this actually. It was like, because AJ is convinced that he would have kicked out of that attitude adjustment, because where the main focal point of this match was that attitude adjustment where the ref was knocked out and then Cena claims that he had him beaten, and AJ was like, "No, man, I was just resting. Like, I knew the ref was out.
Yeah, so whatever.
Yeah, let's get to lay there.
Yeah,
take a rest." So just like grade A, like textbook heel maneuver. Yeah. AJ offers anyone from the club as a match to John Cena, except for AJ Styles.
Any of the three of us, but not me.
Yeah. Which was awesome.
Yeah. And AJ promises the others will not interfere.
Yeah.
So so I think we cut to commercial and we come back or whatever, and it's going to be Cena one-on-one versus Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
And it's
not much of a match.
It's not a long match.
Yeah.
Cena hits Anderson with an attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
And then AJ and Gallows run in and beat up Cena. Like, there's no, you're not recovering from that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, it was exactly where I expected this feud to keep going. I'm assuming it's going to keep going straight through to SummerSlam.
Probably.
Yeah. So we get...
They show, so they show a family in the front row.
Yeah.
They were in the building already, but they got moved up to the front row thanks to Little Caesars Pizza. And then Zack Ryder's music starts playing. Then we cut backstage to Becky Lynch, who has been betrayed by Paige and Charlotte and now Natalie, and has basically decided that she doesn't trust anyone ever again. And she's like, nope, refuses to trust anyone else. She's been burned too many times. And then she gets attacked by Natalia again.
Yeah. And Natty says that this is the first time she's taken care of herself in years.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the ring in time to hear, and his opponent, Baron Corbin. and it's like, what? Oh, it's Ryder. Oh. It's just weird that they show this family and you hear Zack Ryder's entrance, but then they cut to this vignette with the women backstage, and then we cut back to and his opponent Baron Corbin, and it's like, okay.
I actually really liked how they had the armbar trophy out.
Yeah,
just as a reminder, like, hey,
Baron
it's still
Corbin's,
a thing. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, he did win that. Like, we have a tendency to forget things quickly these days, so it's nice to have a reminder every couple months at least. Okay, he still won that thing, and it still means something.
Corbin makes short work of Ryder.
Yes. End of days. We get a commercial or a promo for the WWE making or planning routes in China.
Oh yeah,
and John Cena's just speaking like fluent Mandarin.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, holy shit, man!
Good job, Cena.
Good work, Cena.
Paige is backstage with Renee.
Sorry, before that, there's a Bray Wyatt promo.
Oh yeah,
he's coming back.
Yeah,
I think they talk tonight. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Paige is backstage with Renee.
Yeah. Charlotte and Dana were trying to get cell phone coverage. Because Paige was having an interview, and then she kept getting distracted by something, and they pan over.
Yeah.
And Charlotte's trying to get cell phone coverage backstage. It was a very weird segment.
There's a backstage segment with Paige.
Yeah.
It's Paige in a match for the women's title.
Yeah.
Because she's had 2 victories over Charlotte.
Yeah.
So they only mentioned one of them. So maybe we're misremembering. I don't know. But she has a victory over Charlotte. So this is a match for the title.
It was the Raw before Money in the Bank that
I thought
she beat
so too,
her.
yeah.
That Paige beat Charlotte. Because it was like, holy shit, Paige is back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Paige maintains that it is still her house.
Yes.
It's my house, this thing. Dana pulls Charlotte out of the ring.
Yeah.
And says of Paige, she can't flex with us. Like her derisively of Paige. She can't flex with us. This is weirdly similar to the Natalya and Beth Phoenix pin-up strong stable while Beth was still with the company, but less ham-fisted. Their whole thing, because they called it pin-up strong, and they were like, we're hot, but also have big arms.
Yeah.
That was their thing. Beth Phoenix was really great.
Yeah. I never saw any of it, so.
Dana gets thrown out for interference.
Yeah.
She gets rejected to the back, but it's too late because Charlotte hits the natural selection for the 1, 2, 3 before Dana's even partway up the ramp.
Yeah. What was the point of doing that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sasha comes in. Sasha's not been seen in weeks because she's been injured. Months.
She had like a concussion or something?
Basically hasn't been seen since Mania.
Yeah.
Basically. And she
true.
just demolishes Dana with a stiff elbow.
Yeah.
And then runs in the ring and like roughs Charlotte up and then holds up the title.
Yeah.
It's just like, my title. And then Paige is like, yay, go Sasha. Which I would have been like, I also want the title. I don't know why Paige is so cool with Sasha being like, I'm coming for your title. And Paige is like, I just lost.
That's like baby faces, like natural, like people who are baby faces just do that. Like, go everyone. It's like, no, I'd be like, fuck you, man. I'm in line.
There's a weird little interstitial with Reigns that ends with the Wyatts were here thing. It gets sort of like cut off.
Yeah.
There's a welcome back chant for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Awesome.
The crowd is quite hyped for this.
How happy I am to see Bray Wyatt back.
Yeah.
So fucking glad.
Luke Harper's still missing, which is a bummer. I hope his legs get better or whatever.
There's actually
his knee.
I guess like he sent out some tweet that was like, goodbye forever or something, but I don't know if it was a weird kind of like...
He tends to tweet pretty cryptically, I think that's...
I don't know. I took that totally in the context of just a single tweet, right? Like, I don't know Luke Harper's tweeting history or anything like that.
I think he might be referring to, like in character, referring to Bray. Maybe Luke's going to a different brand.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? This is a completely random aside. Ryback is out.
Oh, he's done?
He asked for his release. Yeah. So.
Not surprised.
Not surprised, no.
And you know what? I think it'd probably be better for him in the long run.
Probably. I hope he comes back, though.
Really?
I'd like to see him. I think he deserves better than he got. Maybe not
a lot better.
Maybe not the main title, but I'm kinder to Ryback than most of the internet wrestling community.
Yeah. You know what? I think now that I mentioned it, or now that you mentioned it, and now that I just thought, wouldn't they put? I guess that's too much brand mixing, but NXT on the pre-show. You know, like an NXT match or two on a pre-show.
I don't know.
And I just thought about it because I remember Ryback being upset about being put on the pre-show. And it's like, why not put the developmental guys on the pre-show? Anyway.
So Bray Wyatt's doing a promo.
Yeah.
The New Day interrupts the promo.
Yeah.
Which is like the only time I'm bummed to see the New Day because I kind of wanted to see where Bray was going with this.
Yeah.
So they interrupt, and because there's 3 of the Wyatts now and 3 of the New Day.
Yeah.
Xavier, it gets sort of caught in Bray's like thrall because he starts to do the like WWE World Tag Team Champions, but he stops partway through and just sort of like is like lost in Bray in like the glory of Bray Wyatt and like starts walking down the ramp towards him a little bit. The whole crowd continues the like WWE World Tag Team Champions, but Xavier's just sort of like lost for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think Big E and Kofi are like, whoa, hey, man. And Xavier's like, oh, hey, what? Oh, hi, sorry.
The New Day have done a brilliant job of making the Wyatts look terrifying.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like just, this is how everyone should act around the Wyatts.
Yes.
This is what I wanted to see. This is what we were complaining about back at WrestleMania.
They are doing a great job of getting the Wyatts
and like
Bray
this
Wyatt
whole like,
specifically over.
and even last night during the draft on SmackDown, Bray fought Kofi, or no, Bray fought Xavier one-on-one, and there was a point where they were staring at each other, and Bray was talking, and he did the same thing, like he got under a trance kind of thing until he shook him. It was awesome.
And this segment ends with Bray talking about how the New Day are in over their head or whatever, and finishes with New Day falls.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
So
really
good. God, I missed you, Bray Wyatt. I don't care. Yes. I'm just excited to see him again.
Make Darren Young waste time hanging around with seniors again. I have heard that since this episode, he has in fact wrestled in the ring with Bob Backlund at ringside.
Yes.
And that it's actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, it is pretty sweet. I'm saw
pleased.
The first match that I actually saw him wrestling was last night on SmackDown.
Okay.
And Backlund like signals him to put him in the crossface chicken wing, and then Young puts him in. I can't remember who he did it to. I think it was the Miz. He put the Miz in the chicken wing, and then the bell rang. Like Miz tapped out, and he didn't let go. He like held on like Backlund used to. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
But these vignettes are getting tired.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rusev is out.
Yep.
And then Titus is, what do I have? Rusev is out. Titus is backstage yelling into microphones about his family.
Yeah.
And then Titus beats him up a bunch, and the match never actually starts, and Rusev just leaves.
Yep.
It's a weird feud.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It feels very like.
I think it's because I don't care about Titus.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't really, like, I mean, what do we know about Titus? I mean, he's Mega Dad.
Mega Dad of the Year. Former tag team champion.
Yeah. He does that thing.
He does.
I don't know what that is, though.
I don't know either.
You don't? Okay.
He makes a noise.
Yeah. It's like a barking noise.
Yeah.
I always thought when I started watching again.
Like a seal barking. Yeah.
When I started watching again, I thought they were booing him. Because it sounds like
they were all
booing.
going, ooh, ooh,
yeah, they're doing the thing.
That was a problem for the Vancouver Canucks for a while.
Lou.
At the Olympics, I had to explain to people, because I have some friends who were like crazy into the Canucks.
Yeah.
And then when the Olympics came around and Luongo was their goalie,
Yeah.
a bunch of people were like, man, why is the Vancouver crowd booing Team Canada? And I
Yeah.
had to be like, they were saying Lou. But it sounds like they're saying boo, because in the arena it's hard to distinct b and b.
Are you saying Lou or Lou Earns?
Yeah. I was saying Lou Earns. The Miz.
Yeah.
On set, backstage at the filming of the Marine 5, in the commissary, cuts a promo on the entire crew of the Marine 5 because they don't eat quail protein.
The Miz is the best. He's awesome.
Maurice is there going,
Yep.
and he's just like, how dare you? Do you not care about your body? Quail protein.
Awesome. I just love it. I'm glad that they've given him stuff to do to remind us that he's still around.
Well, he's
know
the
what I mean?
champ.
Yeah, he's the IC champ, so it's just like...
And Jericho is yelling at Shane backstage.
Yep.
For no benefit. And then the Usos have an ad for 5 Hour Energy. Your main event already.
Yeah.
Reigns versus Rollins for the #1 contender spot.
Yep.
The match occurs.
Yep.
At one point, the Spanish announcer jumps the barricade.
Oh, right.
Because they get down to the Spanish announce table.
Yeah.
And the Spanish announcers are like, whoa, crap. And like, jump the barricade.
Yeah.
Because Reigns spears over the table. Dean, because Dean's out there, of course.
Yeah.
They like beat each other up so bad that they're outside the ring and the ref's doing a count out. And Dean is encouraging them to get back in.
Yeah.
He's like, you guys should probably get back in the ring. You want to like stand up or no? Okay. But it ends with a double count out.
Yep.
So what are you going to do?
To the shock of no one.
To the shock of no one.
Yeah.
Shane comes out
Yeah.
and makes the match at Battleground a triple threat. Battleground is in just enough time that after tonight's episode of Raw, Reigns can start serving his 30-day suspension and then come back and be directly in a title match at Battleground.
Did we talk about last time about how I hope that Reigns wins just before the shitstorm that happens from him going...
You monster.
I just love it. This is when I like click on Twitter things and people will be like just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because stuff like that just interests me. I think it's funny.
So that's Money in the Bank and the Raw following. The next episode we're going to deal with more Raws.
Yeah,
and then we'll be able to catch up with Battleground.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I know we've said this a million times before.
At least three or four times recently. Yeah.
Okay. It is now Tuesday.
Yeah. Within the next week.
Within the next week,
Yeah.
we're gonna catch up.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
I believe in us.
Come hell or high water, man.
I believe in us.
This was just been a comedy of errors,
Yeah.
like us falling behind. Like, I went on vacation for 2 weeks, I went off my medication, and I was fucked. Like, the last episode, I was not happy filming that, but I did it. So, and then you're busy with Loading Ready Run.
And Tiny Human.
Small child.
Yeah.
Who somewhere on her body has a Mega Dad code, and you need to...
I'll find it. It's probably under her. She catches food in her neck all the time, so it's probably under there. But on this episode, we should briefly talk about the draft.
Yeah.
Because the draft happened last night.
Yeah.
And I was watching on the network, so I was watching the second screen experience, which was the panel of Renee, Booker T, Lita, and Corey Graves talking about it as it was happening.
We talked about this before. It sounds like the draft viewer, the second screen experience was way more fun than the actual, because I watched SmackDown and it was okay.
Yeah.
But the network special sounded like it was a shit show.
Notable standouts.
Yeah.
They interviewed Dolph Ziggler, and he's like, "This is great. I've been at the top. I want to be at the top again, and I'm going to make it happen." And Booker T is like, "What do you need to make it happen?" And he's like, "I just need 3 minutes on a mic to tell people why they should believe in me." And then Booker T is like, "Go. You have a mic. Do it now." And Ziggler's like, "Okay." and then does it. And it's a good promo, right?
Yeah.
But he was clearly like,
not ready.
"Fuck, Booker, come on, man." But no, it was good.
Yeah.
And he cut a great promo, but it was obvious that Booker was putting him on the spot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Speaking of Booker, he's interviewing the Usos after they got drafted.
Yeah.
And he's clearly, you can tell from the look on his face that he doesn't want to be saying the things he's saying, and he's being fed this question. Because he asks the Usos, not about themselves, but about Roman Reigns. And he's like, "So, Roman Reigns, he's divisive. Everyone hates him." He just says everyone hates him, right? And the Usos are like, "Uh-huh."
Yep.
Uh-huh. Kalisto did not expect to be being interviewed, and I feel kind of bad because he definitely got flustered, but he was just like,
This is the best line.
Like when you're interviewing someone after a hockey game, right? And he's just like, "I'm going to go out there and give it 110%, and it's going to be great on SmackDown. I'm going to give it my all in Lucha style."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, so you're looking forward to doing SmackDown." He's like, "Yeah, Baron Corbin's there, so I can get my revenge because Corbin beat up him and Sin Cara.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna go there, and I'm gonna show. I'm just do the Lucha." Thing. All right, cool, bye.
And you're not even exaggerating like that ending.
He actually said
Lucha thing.
Lucha thing, and then tried to play it off like he was just so excited, so he was like, "Woo!" and ran away.
Oh my God.
And then the best one was Cesaro, completely off script. I don't know if they just didn't care because it's the network, like, because these guys are all like, whatever, right? But JoJo was like, "So, hey, Cesaro, how do you feel about your draft?" And he's like, "Well, I'm not happy about it. I was drafted 17th in round 6, and I feel like I'm better than that. I think I should have been top 10.
Yeah.
And, I got drafted to Raw, which is great because it's the flagship, so I'm looking at the positives here, that it's the flagship show, but the general managers and commissioners were talking about how SmackDown is going to be focusing more on the in-ring product,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's where I should be instead of on Raw where it's going to be about the authority figures. And then she's like, well, you mentioned the authority figures, how do you think that Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley are going to be able to coexist on Monday Night Raw? And he's like, see, the problem is that you're even asking me that question because I do not care. This is what he said. He said, I don't care.
Yeah.
He's like,
Awesome.
I think it should be about the superstars in the ring, and I think that should be the focus, and I don't think the focus of the show should be on whether or not Steph and Mick Foley get along.
Awesome.
And people are like,
Holy shit.
did Rusev just have his own little pipe bomb moment? What? Or Cesaro. Why did I say Rusev? Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Rusev also had to. Rusev and Lana's backstage segment was equally unscripted, but it was much more in character.
Yeah.
But this was it was really good. And he's like, look, I like this moment because I'm getting a chance to talk because I don't get to talk. And you can see right now that I have thoughts and I can think things and then they come out of my mouth. And sometimes people rip on me a little for flubbing my lines, but I speak 5 languages.
Yeah.
But the only language I want to speak is the universal one that we all understand, the language of wrestling. Yeah. So
Fucking
Rusev
amen, brother.
Yeah. So he's like,
testify.
So, Rusev on Monday Night Raw. Yeah. And everyone's like, oh my god.
And I mean, you showed me the clip on YouTube.
Yeah, they put it
They put it on YouTube, so it's not like, we gotta cover this up, you know what I mean?
So that was sweet to watch. The actual results. So the way that it's shaken down is you've got Stephanie McMahon is the commissioner of Monday Night Raw.
What's the difference between a general manager and a commissioner?
They've used them sort of interchangeably in the past, but I think the commissioner is the higher power, but the general manager does the day-to-day interaction with the wrestlers.
Okay.
So it's Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley on Raw. So I think you'll see Mick Foley there every week, but then if a McMahon needs to step in, then they'll bring Steph on.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, Shane McMahon is the commissioner and Daniel Bryan is the general manager.
So good seeing him. I mean, he's still under contract, right?
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of people talking about how maybe if Daniel wasn't under contract, he'd be wrestling somewhere else.
Yeah.
So this is a good way of him to...
He said that before he got the results that made him retire.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so maybe it's not true anymore.
Yeah.
But
And
it's good to see him on TV.
Juggled the commentary teams around as well.
Yes.
So Monday Night Raw is still Michael Cole and Byron Saxton, but now
Yeah.
Corey Graves up from NXT.
Yeah.
The savior of misbehavior.
I think that's what his tag is.
Yeah.
He's a very good announcer.
I'm excited.
He's a very
so
good
much more
heel
excited to watch
announcer.
Raw now. SmackDown is Mauro Ranallo.
But rest in peace, Maggle.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Mauro Ranallo. David Otunga, who I didn't even realize was still employed, but apparently does commentary on Main Event or Superstars.
I think so, something like that.
And JBL is now is now on SmackDown.
But I mean,
I love it, Marl. Marl.
But I mean, Mauro is great.
Yeah.
Actually, there was for those of you that watched Evo this last weekend, in the Street Fighter V Top 8, there was a competitor named Long Island Joe. And he was a lone American. There's a bunch of Japanese and one Korean player. And last night on SmackDown, Mauro made a L.I. Joe reference on the broadcast, which I thought was weird. Very weird just seeing very niche video game markets getting exposure on a big multimedia platform like the WWE. This is whoa, weird.
So the other aspects, though, the actual superstars.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about this, man.
I'm not sure.
Let me start at the tag team division.
Okay.
SmackDown has American Alpha called up from NXT.
Sweet.
They're great.
Yep.
Ready, Willing, and Gable.
Yeah.
The Usos.
Yeah.
The Ascension, and Breezango.
That's it?
That's all they have on SmackDown for tag teams.
What the fuck?
Raw has the New Day, the Club, Enzo and Cass, the Dudleys, Golden Truth, and the Shining Stars.
Okay.
So they've got 5 great tag teams, top tier tag teams on Raw, and the Shining Stars, and then 4 lower mid card ones on SmackDown.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they're doing. What they're gonna
And the titles are with New Day, which is on Raw.
So are the titles just gonna stay on Raw then? I guess
We don't know, because the other problem is the women's division.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, you've got Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And that's it for faces, because Carmella is now on SmackDown, again, called up from NXT. And then Natty, Naomi, Eva Marie, and Alexa Bliss. But, so it's like, sure, there's enough people there to do storylines with, but what is their goal? Because Charlotte is on Raw with the title. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Paige stayed on Raw.
Yeah.
As did Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke and Summer Rae.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax was called up from NXT.
Yeah.
I just don't
Dicey. Dicey is the word I like to to use.
This makes the roster look really thin.
Yeah.
But you look at the main event, it gets even weirder. On SmackDown, Dean Ambrose, current champion.
Yes.
It's not expected to stay that way.
I don't think so. I don't think he's leaving.
And I feel bad that they basically... This basically signals, all right, Dean, you have the title for now, but get over to SmackDown and we'll take it off you soon enough.
Yeah.
And then we'll just leave you on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because they clearly... We had hoped that they were going to make it look more like... more even, and rather than treating it traditionally like Raw is the A show and SmackDown is the B show.
Yeah.
Booker even said... Because John Cena got drafted to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Booker even said, "Do you feel like you've been demoted?"
Yeah.
And John Cena was like, "Well, I don't think it is a demotion." And Booker's like, "Well, I didn't say it was a demotion. I said you feel like you've been demoted."
Fuck.
So you got Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, John Cena, and Randy Orton. Thank God for more Cena Orton. But that's those are their that's it. That's their main event talent. But then on Raw, your main event talent is Reigns, Rollins, and technically Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. What was the point of? Okay, from a kayfabe standpoint, the fuck is the point of drafting Brock Lesnar?
From a kayfabe standpoint, this draft made no sense.
Yeah, 0 sense.
Because from a kayfabe standpoint, Shane and Daniel were drafting like American Alpha or something before other, like you were drafting like Baron Corbin before Brock. Or like from a kayfabe standpoint, the draft made no sense. If it's actually meant to be the two, like Shane and Steph actually trying to make their show the strongest, this made no sense.
Yeah. Also, this has taken pretty much every storyline going into Battleground and just threw it out the fucking window. Like, it's just like, none of it really kind of matters, I think. Maybe the main event still matters.
Maybe.
Because, is the world champion going to travel between both promotions?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
I wish we knew.
So, at time of recording, we don't know.
Yeah.
You might know by the time you see it. SmackDown has Dolph and Bray Wyatt and The Miz and Baron Corbin, Alberto Del Rio, Kane for however often he shows up, Apollo Crews, Zack Ryder, Eric Rowan, and Mojo Rawley.
Call it from NXT. Who is Zack Ryder's tag team partner.
So Bray Wyatt and Eric Rowan are on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman is on Raw.
Okay.
So no idea where Luke Harper's going to end up.
Yeah.
So Raw has Finn Balor called up from NXT. So like the thing is,
that's a reason to watch.
This
Raw.
means like Balor, Zayn, and Owens have to be in the title picture now.
They have to.
Because all you have on Raw is Reigns and Rollins.
Yeah.
Like Raw has Brock Lesnar, but he's not around.
Yeah.
Right? And there's also Rusev, Cesaro, Jericho, and Sheamus.
I mean, I'm hoping Cesaro is going to be in the title picture.
I hope so too, especially after that promo.
Yeah, dude.
Neville is going to be coming back, and he'll be at Raw.
He wrestled a dark match. He's he's back and active.
Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Big Show, Sin Cara, Jack Swagger, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, Mark Henry is still inexplicably there around, and Braun Strowman.
And also to note, on Raw, they've announced on Raw there will be a cruiserweight division.
So, okay. There's going to be a cruiserweight division on Raw.
Yeah.
But Kalisto...
who's arguably the best cruiserweight they have right now...
is on SmackDown.
Yeah. WWE
with
logic.
Dolph Ziggler.
Is Dolph Ziggler considered a cruiserweight?
Kinda, maybe.
It's 205, right?
But it's just like...
Doesn't make any sense.
Like, would it have worked to do... I think what might have been a better play is keep the entire women's division
on one roster?
Raw,
and
do the cruiserweight division on SmackDown.
Yeah. You'd think. I didn't understand the splitting up of the women division.
No, that made no sense.
It made zero
Because
sense.
you've now got, not that you were using them well before, but now you've got super thin rosters on both shows.
Yeah.
And the ones on SmackDown have no title to fight over.
Yeah.
Unless the title traverses brands, but that's weird.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, like, even, see, I didn't see the last brand split. So,
Yeah.
okay, let's say the title does travel between shows. What happens if the champ is feuding with someone from Raw and then they just go to SmackDown and what, hang out? Like,
Right?
Yeah, it's like, that's so jarring. It's just like, the fuck is the point of this person being
What's
here?
the point of the split at all? And this was weird. During the thing that I was watching on the network, they were like, here's some undrafted superstars. And they showed like a list of 12 names or whatever. And there's all these people that haven't been drafted yet. And it listed at various points in this grid, the Usos, Enzo and Cass, and Kalisto.
Not the Lucha Dragons.
Not the Lucha Dragons. And it didn't mention Sin Cara either.
Jeez.
But it was just like... Also... Yes, sorry, the Vaudevillains are also on SmackDown.
Okay.
Sorry. So
SmackDown has like, what, 4 or 5 tag teams?
people who were not... Yeah, five tag teams on SmackDown. American, Alpha, Ascension, Usos, Breezango, and Vaudevillains.
Yeah.
Either undrafted or injured. So Heath Slater, they did a joke at the end of the broadcast with like a giant empty room full of chairs, and Heath Slater was like looking around like, well, what about, and then someone turned the lights off, and he's just like, God damn it, and like threw a chair.
Yeah.
No one knows where Undertaker's going.
Okay.
For whatever that counts.
Well, he wrestles once a year.
Luke Harper's injured still.
Yeah.
So we don't know where he's going to go. And Emma, Nikki Bella, and Tamina were not. Emma's out injured.
Bellas are
Tamina's
both
not.
retired.
Apparently, Nikki's planning on making a comeback, or
I thought she was.
Apparently, we miscalled that.
Oh, really?
I thought that the neck injury meant that she was.
That's what I thought.
toast.
I thought
so
it
too,
said,
but
yeah.
apparently not.
Huh.
Tamina didn't get drafted either.
Okay. All right.
It's just weird.
I just assumed that the Bellas were done because I know Bree's done because WrestleMania was her.
Yeah, Bree's done.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens because they have to make new stars now. The ball's in their court, right?
Yeah.
Like we can look at these rosters and say, hey, they're thin.
Yeah.
But this just puts more pressure on them. Like you have to let these guys shot. Like they need to be. Not only does it puts pressure on the company, it puts pressure on the wrestlers. Like here's your shot. Like
and I hope
make it work.
I hope they make it work because I mean, the roster being thin means that theoretically every individual person or team has more chance to shine.
Yeah.
But so I guess that's not really a criticism, but the way that the splits were decided to me doesn't make a lot of sense. If Raw's getting a cruiserweight division, then a lot of the like mid-card guys make no sense.
Yeah.
How that was split up.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the women on SmackDown have to argue about, or the tag teams on SmackDown.
Yeah. The women in the tag teams on SmackDown, I'm worried about. And
whatever happens to the title, or unless they introduce another title. This is the thing. Rusev is the U.S. champion.
Yeah.
Is on Raw.
Yeah.
And so he's like the main champ on Raw. I guess Charlotte actually.
Oh yeah, Charlotte. And,
I did like this though.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins was the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose was the number 2 draft pick.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is why Steph would choose Seth over the literal champ is weird, but that's obviously personal.
Yeah.
So it's like that's personal. So I totally get that from a storyline angle. 3rd draft pick was Charlotte.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Number 3.
I was like, high fives to you, Charlotte.
Pick 2.
You did it. Yeah.
To Raw. And then it just sort of gets weird from there. Finn Balor was pick 5 actually, which was crazy.
Wasn't Roman like 7th or something like that? He was after that.
Something like that, yeah.
And then not long after Roman was Sasha. So I mean, that's still good on Charlotte and Sasha for getting up there. I like you definitely nailed it. Like what happens to the tag division on SmackDown? What happens to the women's division on SmackDown?
The whole thing doesn't.
On both sides? What happens to the main event scene and the mid card scene?
Yeah.
Like have they? I mean, the roster was thin. It was almost like the roster was too big for like one show, right? Yeah. Too big for just Raw. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, what's the longevity like with these rosters?
Yeah.
Long term, what are we looking at as far as keeping storylines fresh and keeping us interested?
Yeah.
And I mean, rightfully, there's been a lot of criticisms of the WWE creative. Like, I don't know if they have new people working on it, or if, like, are Foley and Daniel Bryan going to have a word in what happens, or are they just on-screen personalities?
Probably that.
I'm excited. I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I think your criticisms and fears of what we just talked about are totally valid.
Yeah. As for what that means for this show,
we don't know.
For Sidewalk Slam, we're not entirely sure yet.
Yeah.
A lot of you have asked us, like, well, what does that mean? Because you said you weren't sure before. In the immediate future, we're going to try that. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing now, which is watching Raw, because I seriously don't have time to watch 5 hours of wrestling every week. And Adam's going to try and watch. He's going to try and watch Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
We're going to see how this goes.
We're going to see what happens.
And we will get back to you.
Yeah.
And you and we will learn together.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Like, in an ideal world, I'm hoping, like, I'll watch Raw, but my notes will be bare bones. And then my notes on SmackDown will be better because it's easier, right? 2 hours. Even watching SmackDown last night, I was like, oh my God, 2 hours of wrestling is so much better.
It's like, oh, it's over? Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. Like,
go get some food.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But I don't think the show's not going to end. Because we both still very much want to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. We're not going to be overwhelmed by wrestling and just be like, well, can't do it.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Just like, I'm out. Just
the draft killed Sidewalk Slam.
Yeah.
Okay, folks.
All right.
Until next time.
Yes.
Adam.
Yep.
You're on the twits.
I am at Wake Up Super.
Yeah.
And Graham is on the Twitch.
I sure am. What a terrible phrase I made up. I am at Graham_LRR.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
like always,
this
show and every other show on Loading Ready Run are brought to you by you, the Patreons.
Yeah, you're a kind support of our Patreon. Patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun.
Yep.
Check that out.
Is it down here?
It's down there, yeah.
Okay.
We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you next time.
See you later.
Bye.
I don't know why I did that salute.